welcome. My name is Chris Shelton. Thank you so much for joining me for day 27. Wow, we're almost done here. The 30 days of Qigong to better health. Today's practice is a little bit of an esoteric practice, but it's called the Tan Tien Cleansing Exercise, and is meant to work with your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being. All three of these energy centers are equally as important. Not one is more important than the other. And a lot of times we tend to have blockages in one or more of these three centers, whether we're cut off spiritually, religiously, whatever, whether we're cut off mentally, emotionally, we have a blockage there, a disconnect with the heart-mind connection, or we're just cut off physically. We're having health problems, we have inability to break through barriers in our life or whatnot. So this is just a simple practice in order to help to clear those three areas out. And in Chinese physiology, they actually say that the three Dantians have a different color that's associated with it to help you remember it, almost like the chakra system in Ayurvedic medicine. And the lower Tan Tien is located 1 inch below the navel and is associated with the kidneys. So the color blue is associated with the lower Tan Tien. The middle Tan Tien is associated with the heart, thus the color red is associated with that area. And then the upper Tan Tien is associated with your spiritual center, which is white. And what's going to happen in today's meditation is that we're going to go through the center balance meditation. And then from there, instead of doing the regular microcosmic orbit, we're going to go into these three cleansing exercises, starting with the lower Tan Tien. And imagine this blue sphere begins to flow up and down through the governing conception channel, just like we're doing the microcosmic orbit, going up and going down, going faster and faster and faster. And then what's going to happen from there, then we're going to reverse the direction and imagine it now going the opposite direction. This blue sphere is going to go up the conception vessel, back down the governing vessel, through the perineum, then through the Dantian, then up the conception, back down, going faster and faster and faster. Almost like yesterday's meditation, where you can no longer see the beginning or the end of where the colors start and where they stop. And then from there, then it's going to slow down. From there, we're going to imagine that the lower Tan Tien begins to ascend upwards to the chest, now focusing on the middle Tan Tien. And when we do this, we are going to allow for the hands to rise as well too. This point here, the Lao Gong point here at the bottom of the hand, the palm on both sides. These Lao Gong points are going to face one another. It's almost like an each one posture, which is a different type of meditation and internal martial art. But in this case here, the palms are going to face one another, and we're going to imagine that now this blue sphere turns the color red. Then it's going to start to flow down across the palms between the Lao Gong points up, going around the back channels, going around and around and around, and faster and faster and faster. And then from here, it's going to stop, or it's going to begin to slow down, and then it's going to stop, and then we're going to go the opposite direction, going up the right arm, down the left arm, across the space in between, connecting, going faster and faster and faster until you just see the solid beam of red light that's encompassing the circuit all the way around between the palms, up the right arm, around the back channel, down the left arm. And then from there, we're going to slow down, coming to a stop, and then we're going to then allow for this red sphere to ascend upwards to the upper Tan Tien, and imagine it turns a brilliant white color, or as in a brilliant white light. And then from there, we're going to once again begin going through the microcosmic orbit, through the governing conception channels, going faster and faster and faster, and then from there slowing down, going the opposite direction. And this time what's going to happen is that when we go so fast, then this white light is then going to go from the front and the back of the body. It's going to combine in the middle, and we're going to establish what is known as our center core of light, which is through the center of our being, through the crown point, through the perineum. And we are going to stand in the center core of light, feeling this peace, feeling the emptiness, feeling the nothingness, and then from there we'll go ahead and close the practice. So it's such a simple practice, but again, this practice is purposely designed to help to clear out any blockages, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. A little bit different than the three Dantians, opening three Dantians that we did a few days ago, where in that practice we had the Om, the Ha, and the ha-rim sounds in order to create the vibration to open up these different chambers of the lower Dantian. This one here, we're actually using no sound, but we're using mind intent in order to further help to cleanse at a deeper level. So simple practice with profound results. Let's begin. With the feet out about shoulders width apart, knees are slightly bent, tucking the sacrum underneath, pressing or tucking the chin, pressing up on the crown point. Tip the tongue, gently curl to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. From here, we're going to begin by pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. And from there, lift the arms up, inhale, exhale, and release. So gaze into the tips of the fingers, allow for any excess of thoughts, feelings, or emotions to flow off, going several feet away from the body and down deep into the ground. Any tension in the shoulders, allow for that to flow away. And then from there, slowing down, coming back to the middle, and pulling down the heavens, inhaling, and exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling, calming the mind, settling your spirit, inhale, and exhale. And then from there, the feet become a little bit closer together. Begin to lightly bounce, focusing on relaxing the knees, the hips, the waist, the shoulders. And now focus on the ankles and allow for any tension in the ankles to release out deep into the ground. Next, the knees, any tension or tightness in the knees, allow for that to release as well, guiding out through the ankles, out through the feet, deep into the ground. From there, the hips, groin, low back. Any pain, discomfort in this major gate of the body, allow for all that to release out as a dark cloud of energy, guiding out through the bubbling well points and down deep into the ground. Next, the center of the back and chest. Any emotions, any tightness on the spine, in between the shoulder blades. Allow for all that to release out through the legs, out through the feet, and deep into the ground. And from there, the fingers, wrists, releasing out any tension or tightness from the wrists, hands, and fingers. From there, the elbows, the shoulders, the head and neck. Releasing out all tension, pain, discomfort from these areas as well, guiding out through the arms, out through the fingers, and down deep into the ground. And then from here, we're going to inhale, pulling the golden light up through the body beyond the top of the head, and drop. Inhaling up, and drop. And inhale, and release. And then from there, shaking the tree, stepping out in your Wu-Ji posture, inhaling all the way up the body, and exhaling. Inhaling all the way up, exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. And then pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhale, exhale. Inhaling, guiding the energy, exhale. Inhale. And releasing out deep into the ground. And then from there, in your Wu-Ji posture, gently closing the eyes, tucking the chin, pressing up at the crown point, going directly into the center of balance meditation. Breath long, steady, even and deep into the lower abdomen, 1 inch below the navel. Imagine warm oil that begins to flow down through the front of the body, starting at the crown point, through the scalp, the forehead, the brow bone, eyebrows, eyes, temples, nose, cheeks, side of the face, through the lips and chin and jaw, flowing and pouring down through the neck and throat, and branching off into the shoulders, upper chest, and through the biceps, elbow creases, forearms, wrists, palms of the hands leading all the way out to the fingertips. And then from there, feeling the entire chest and abdomen, flanks of the body, the sides of the body, through the ribs, the trunk, the groin, the thighs. This warm oil flows down into the knees, the shins, the ankles, and feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from there, feel the entire front of your body as well as to the left and to the right. Feeling it from head to toe. And then from there, melting down through the back of the body. Allow the warm oil to envelop the scalp, behind the ears, behind the neck and shoulders, through the triceps, elbows, and forearms, the wrists, the back of the hands leading all the way out to the fingertips. And from there, the upper back, mid-back, low back, waist, buttocks, hamstrings, knees, calves, ankles, heels, feeling everything that's behind you, and feeling just as much behind as you do in the front, and to the left, and to the right. Connecting to your higher power, imagine white light that penetrates through the center of your being. You visualize and feel the brain, surrounding tissues, the skull, the inner ear, the sinuses, the nerves behind the eyes, the face, the cheeks, the capillaries. And then from there, the jaw structure, each of the vertebrae from the base of the skull down through the center of the neck and throat. Feel the muscles, the arteries, branching off into the shoulders, the bones and muscles of the chest, upper chest, back, shoulders, flowing down into the center of the biceps, triceps, the elbows, the center of the forearms, the wrists, all the small bones, tendons, ligaments of the wrists, hands, and fingers. And then from there, this white light penetrates into each of the ribs, traveling down through each vertebra of the spine. You now visualize and feel the heart, the lungs, liver and gallbladder on the right side of the body, the stomach and spleen on the left, the kidneys, the intestines, the urinary bladder, the pelvic bone, the bones of the legs, the femurs, the muscles surrounding them, the knees, the center of the shins and calves, ankles, feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from there, allow your feet to melt into the floor like you're standing on a sea. Liquid energy comes up about the height of the ankles. Next, imagine roots growing out from the bubbling well points down to the center core of the earth. And as you inhale, imagine golden light racing up the roots, up the legs, into the abdominal cavity as you inhale. Then as you exhale, releasing back out any dark turbid chi out the legs, out the roots, and down deep into the ground. Inhaling up and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Flowing all the way up through the legs into the abdominal cavity as you inhale, releasing out any toxicity, out the legs, out the feet, and deep into the ground. Inhale and exhale. Gather and exhale. Inhaling and exhale. One more, inhaling. And then exhaling. And then from there, cleansing the 3 Dantians exercise. And from here, focusing on the lower Tan Tien, imagine it as a blue sphere of energy, an energy ball. This brilliant blue light emanates in all directions, illuminating everything in your lower abdominal region, the lower extremities. And from here, imagine now this blue sphere begins to race, going through the microcosmic orbit pattern, up the spine, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, then coming up through the tailbone, up the spine, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, starting to pick up momentum. You feel and visualize this blue sphere of energy rising up the back, down the front, completing the cycle, flowing up the back, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, through the tailbone, going faster and faster and faster, no longer keeping up with the breath. But you visualize this blue sphere going faster and faster until it leaves the tail. And this blue sphere begins to catch up to the tail. And now you just have this solid blue beam of energy rising up and descending down through the front and the back, opening up the governing conception channels. Going so fast now you only feel a pulsation through the 2 main acupuncture vessels. And then from there it begins to slow down, rising up the back, over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen. Until from there it comes to a complete stop in the lower Tan Tien, and now it reverses directions. This time moving up the front of the conception vessel, down the back, through the governing vessel, out through the tailbone, through the perineum, through the Tan Tien, then up the front channel, going down the back, beginning to go back faster and faster and faster. Feel this blue sphere of energy as it races, going up the conception vessel, up the front, up over the top of the head, down the back, through the governing vessel, through the tailbone, through the perineum, through the Tan Tien, then up the front, through the conception channel, going faster and faster. Once again, now you see this only this blue sphere of energy, and it's now leaving a tail behind it. Going faster and faster, the blue sphere now catches up to the tail, now going so fast that all you visualize is this pulsating blue light through these two main acupuncture vessels of the body. And then from there, this blue light begins to slow down. Slowing down, you now see the tail as it flows up the front, down the back, through the tailbone, through the perineum, up the front, down the back, and then finally slowing down and coming to a complete stop. And then from there, this blue sphere of energy now rises up to the chest, to the Middle Dantian. And have the hands, the Laogong points, facing one another. Now opening up the mental emotional component of our being. So from here, from our heart center, this red, brilliant light emanates from the chest, from the heart, begins to flow down the left arm, out the Laogong point on the left palm, across the space in between the left and right hands, into the Laogong point of the right hand, up the right arm, around the back channels, around the back, down the left arm, going faster and faster, across the space in the middle, up the right arm, around the back, down the left arm, across the space in the middle, entering into the palm of the right, going faster and faster. See this red sphere of energy as it rolls around the channels, creating this pathway, opening up, clearing and cleansing the mental emotional components in this second energy center. And now once again going so fast that now you see a red tail that follows behind the sphere as it flows up the right palm, up the arm, around the back, down the left arm, across the space from the left palm, into the right palm, up the right, down the left, going around faster and faster until all you see and feel is this pulsation of this ring of red energy or red light that flows all the way around the arms, around the back, down, and across the space between the left and right palms. And then from there, it begins to slow down. Now you see this red tail from the Middle Tan Tien as this red beam or this red ball flows between the left palm into the right palm, up the right arm, around the back channel, down the left, out the left palm, into the right palm, until finally slowing down and coming to a stop in the center of the chest. And then from there, we now flow the opposite direction. This time, this Middle Tan Tien, this red sphere of energy, then rolls down the right arm, out the right palm, across the space in between, up the left palm, up the left arm, around the back channel, down the right arm, out the right palm, into the left palm, up the left arm, around the back channel, going faster and faster and faster. Until now all you see is this red sphere or this red tail that follows the red sphere of energy as it rolls up the left arm, around the back channel, down the right arm, across the palm, from the right to the left, and now connecting all together. All you see now is a solid beam of red light, feeling its pulsation as it wraps around down the right arm, across the space from the right palm, into the left palm, up the left arm, around the back. And then from there, it begins to slow down. Now seeing this red sphere as it crosses from the right palm, up the left arm, around the back, down the right, across the palm, all the way around. Until once again it comes to a complete stop in through the chest center. Dropping the hands back into your Wuji posture. Now this red sphere of energy now rises up to the center of the head, opening up and cleansing the upper Dantian. And imagine a brilliant white light that emanates from the upper Dantian, opening up and cleansing the spiritual component of your being. And then from there, allow for this energy now to flow down through the microcosmic orbit, or allow for this white ball of light to race up the back, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, through the Dantian, through the perineum, up the tailbone, up the spine, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen. Going faster and faster and faster. So now all you see is this white sphere of light with this tail chasing behind it. And the white sphere now is starting to catch up as it races up the back, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, flowing through the Dantian, through the perineum, up the tailbone, up the spine, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, until all of a sudden, all you see and visualize is this pulsation of white light that runs through the governing vessel of the back and the conception channel down the front. And then from there, it begins to slow down. Now you're seeing those white sphere of energy as it races up the back, down the front, slowing down. Going through the perineum, up through the tailbone, up the spine, up over the top of the head, down the front of the face, the chest, the abdomen, and then coming to a stop. And then going the opposite direction, down the back, out the tailbone, through the Dantian, up the conception channel, up the front, up over the top of the head, down the back of the governing vessels, down through the tailbone, through the perineum. Now going so fast that all you feel is this pulsation of white light that flows through the conception channel, down the governing vessel, connecting those two powerful acupuncture meridians. And then from there, we're going to imagine that from the governing conception channel, it's all going to come together, this white light, forming the center core of light in the center of the body, flowing through the perineum, straight through all three Dantians, out through the crown point of the top of the head, and just stand in this space of stillness, emptiness, standing in a place of nothingness, just feeling the peace and sincerity, tranquility. Everything else melts away. All three energy centers completely cleansed, purified. And then slowly allow that white light to dissipate into the tissues of the body. And slowly coming back to the present. Feeling rejuvenated, recharged. Pulling down the heavens 3 times, making sure to be mindful to pull any excess energy out of the head, back into the lower Dantian. Inhale. And exhale. Again, gathering, releasing any excess heat or energy, guiding it down through the body into the lower Dantian. And then from there, placing the hands over the lower Dantian, making sure to gather any excess energy that was in the head, Gathering it now into the lower Dantian as you inhale. Then as you exhale, allow for it to restore back the vitality of the kidneys on the low back. Inhaling and exhaling. Gathering and exhale. Inhaling, open. And exhaling, filling up into the kidneys. And then from there, slowly coming out of your Wuji posture. Shaking it out a little bit. Feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, ready to start your day. Or if you're closing out your day with this meditation series, that's feeling more grounded, connected, letting things go. Wow, what a great practice to do. We're always trying to do things to deepen our connection with our bodies, as well as peel away the layers to get to the true essence of who we are. Today is day 27. Thank you for joining me for the 30 Days of Qigong. My name is Chris Shelton. I have a saying here that Qigong is a simple practice with profound results.